like, where is this coming
mac and
from?
cheese.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
then
But you let me
came
go.
to me,
Yeah, it
dawned
does
on me, I don't remember.
I have chanced
The
it so
day
many times.
I'm Natalie Rudd, and I just had a life transformative conversation with Soul Repair 360.
Conversations, open the door, speak your truth, let it show. Healing hearts, we want more. Conversations, that's the core.
Just welcome you all, our audience and our special guest here today to Soul Repair 360 Conversations. This is so interesting because we're in Natalie's podcast studio.
I love it.
This is one of her ventures, and when you hear me introduce her, you'll understand all of the fabulous things. This little lady has a lot contained within her.
I love it.
Miss Natalie Rudd, a dynamic individual on a mission to inspire and empower women in their 5th decade to break free from limitations and unleash their full potential. With a diverse background as a registered nurse, licensed minister, certified professional coach, grief recovery method specialist, author, serial entrepreneur, and coach.
Come on.
And she didn't put Because of His Grace on here, which I don't understand why. But the founder of Because of His Grace Ministry is so many things. She brings a wealth of experience and expertise to her work. Having faced her own challenges, including a life-altering stroke that temporarily robbed her of speech, Coach Natalie understands firsthand the feelings of being stuck, frustrated, and underachieving. However, this setback served as a powerful wake-up call, propelling her to take charge of her life and chart a new path of resilience and success.
Wow.
She is someone we deeply admire for the way she shows up in the world. We've been friends and co-laborers in the ministry for decades, personally.
Right? I feel like I'm about to start crying right now.
To say that she is leaving an impact is an understatement. Thank you for being here today in your own home. Thank you for being here, for allowing us to utilize this space. And we are just looking forward to hearing your story and maybe hearing something that people have never heard before.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. I feel honored to be one of y'all's esteemed guests. So thank you so much for extending the invitation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We couldn't talk about this work without talking to you about this work. Yeah. So we don't start it off like this? Let's break the ice.
It was really strange for me to hear you read that. I think people can relate to imposter syndrome. Like, wait a minute, who's she talking about?
Who is she talking about?
Like, that can't be me. But it's like, wow, it is. And all praises to the Most High for what He's allowed to happen through my life. But yeah, that was really interesting sitting here.
In just 5 decades.
And just
In just 5 decades, right? We think it's like 5 decades. Like, yep, just 5 decades.
I mean, you got a lot of comments in here about things.
Listen, it was a rhythm. It was like jumping rope. It was like,
Like, unreal. And then to have y'all here in the studio, this is a surreal moment for me. And I didn't expect it. So thank you for creating it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I love that about our people. The women that have been in our lives, that raised us, the people that we respect and we work with. If we were to tell the truth, we would have commas. But we're so used to skipping things, like it's not that big a deal. And we'll get more into that, but we have so much depth that we disregard. And then we feel helpless, like we don't have a way in or out, but we haven't mentioned the things that we've survived along the way. And so I'm happy to be here. You know, I walked in on a friendship that was already happening. And certain friendships just got a vibe where it leaves room. And I just found my little nook and cranny. And I'm happy to be here. Just among the mist. So thank you. Thank you.
Fit right in.
And so we're gonna start off with some good old-fashioned icebreakers. One of our favorites is one's got to go. One's gotta go. We're gonna name 4 things.
I love this.
You have to quickly,
Okay.
I mean, it's rapid fire. Quickly name the one thing off that list that has to go.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I love games.
All right,
Let's
we're about to
This is
go.
great.
You ready? Here it is. Fried chicken, mac and cheese, sweet potatoes, or cornbread.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Gotta go.
Why do I take it personally every
I
time?
know, right?
Okay. I mean, and I know the scientific and the health reasons.
Okay.
But
No, I love mac and cheese.
that's what I'm saying. But you
It
letting
don't
it
love
go?
me. Yeah, it doesn't love me.
Mm,
Just put it that way.
I understand. I'll chance it.
I have chanced it so many times. I'm like, it's not worth it. Stop it. I got you.
Hot comb memories, satin bonnet pride, coconut oil, or edge control.
Hot comb memories.
They can go.
Oh my goodness.
They can go.
I remember.
We're not keeping them. We're not.
Listen, like every time at the stove with my mother growing up. Oh my goodness. I love that. But yeah, that was painful.
They make a woman out of it.
literally singed into your memory. You know, as much as we say we want to let it go,
We can't.
when you smell it, when you walk in somebody's
You can
house,
smell it.
you're like,
smell it.
Exactly.
That's how I started my prayer life.
You should say loud and clear. You didn't see that coming. You sure didn't. Mm-mm.
okay, this one, similar, but what we're going to ask you now is what's on your top 3 list. So you're going to name 3 things for each category we give you. So top 3 things on your emotional emergency kit list.
Ooh. Emergency emotional kit. Oh my gosh, my Bible, my journal, and some quiet space. Yeah, that's going to help me declutter my head, get clear, and get centered. Yes, those 3 things. Yep.
Those are some good ones.
I
Nice
love it.
staples.
I love it. Top 3 albums that helped you heal.
You know, there is this group called Casting Crowns, and they were instrumental when I wrote Stormy Weather. When I wrote Stormy Weather, I was going through a health issue, and music soothed me. It centered me, and I would literally put, at that time, it was my Nook, under my pillow and put it on Christian music. And Casting Crowns had this song about, I thought you would have delivered me by now. And I can't even remember the song, but that lyric came up in my head just last week. So it's interesting that we're talking about it because that's the song that came to my mind. So I can't think of any other particular song, but that song,
That's fantastic.
that album, that group, Casting Crowns. And I'll have to find that song again because music totally just soothed me. And just, I put it under my pillow and just let the words float up. And it just, again, that quiet space, helping me to get centered. But yeah, that one lyric, I thought you would have delivered me by now.
Did you have a song for each chapter?
I did.
I thought so.
I did. So 25 lessons, there were 25 songs. And at this very moment, I don't remember not one of those songs, right?
That's
But
why you wrote them down.
I did. That's exactly that. Yeah, that's why you my BFF for real. Come on.
If your nervous system had a theme song right now, what would it be?
I'm unstoppable.
Okay.
I don't. What's her name? Sia. SIA. Unstoppable. I
Oh,
play
okay.
that song all the time. Yes, it's probably not a part of your genre. Her name
I was
is
pausing
SIA.
like, and she wrote a song too.
Now we
Look at
gotta
what
look
we
her up. We gotta look up Sia and Roy Ayers.
Listen, we're getting some education in these conversations.
Yeah, I learned about her through, I'm in the mastermind with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, and they always have music that just pumps you up. And I heard that song and I was like, yes, who is that? I need that theme song. And her name is Sia, SIA. Love it.
Okay, this one doesn't require 3 things. But question is, what's your most Black church kid memory that still lives rent-free in your head?
You say rent free. Ooh, let me tell you, my mother made me sing in the choir. I can't sing. I can't even hold a tune.
We was all in that choir, not singing.
And I'm short. So
Uh-oh.
where was I?
We don't know.
In the
The front.
It
Had to be.
right. You had to be in the front. And I pretended to sing second soprano. So I'm in the front in the soprano section, can't hold a tune. Singing. Every Sunday we had to sing. And I was like, this is like torture. And if you look at the pictures, I'm sitting there like, like this, in the front holding my pose.
And nobody knew you weren't smiling.
Nobody had it.
Hashtag praise him.
Praise him, whatever. That was like torture. So when I had Alexis, my daughter, and I put her in a choir because of course I'm going to torture her just like my mom tortured me, right?
That's what we do,
And
right?
when I saw that expression on her face, it's like, wait, we got to break the generational curse.
Here it is.
I gotta yank her out.
We're gonna pick this chain.
Right. So yeah, that's the memory that came to my mind with that question. Oh, that's hilarious.
They're living rent free.
I'm about to evict that thought though.
Praise him.
I like that.
Ice
Thank
broken.
you. Ice broken.
Yeah, so we would like to just start off by asking what part of your identity feels most present or sacred to you in this season?
That's a good question because identity has become so important to me because I understand how it dictates my behavior. If I say I'm unstoppable, like that song, then my behavior will show that, right? And so I think my identity that's most sacred is believing that I'm a daughter of the Most High, believing that I'm part of His chosen people, believing that I was born on a particular day to come into this world for a purpose. And it's a purpose that only I can fulfill. And I didn't always feel that way about my life, but the older I get, and the more I embrace this identity, like, wait, I belong to the Creator of heaven and earth. Hold on, I am unstoppable, right? And He birthed me for a purpose, and my purpose now, and I was sharing with Danielle, she's my ride or die prayer partner, just so you know, and I think you did know that, but is Isaiah 57 verse 14, where it says, build up the people, remove the stumbling blocks out of the way of my people. And I'm like, yes, that is me. And that is what wakes me up every morning, gets me on fire, be like, game on, baby, let's do this, right? And it has really been empowering because I know who I am. And I believe that my life has purpose and I'm walking in it.
Is this a newer season?
Yes, this is a newer season. And identity has been so important, I think, since we became awakened to who we are in the Most High's kingdom and being part of His royal priesthood. So my spiritual connection to God, the Most High, Yahuwah, has always been important. But now that I'm understanding I'm a part of His chosen people, has only been within the last 17 years, right? Has it been that long? Yeah, it has.
7 years.
Yeah, it's been about 7 years. So I think that the more I do that walk, the more I live out my faith that way, the stronger my identity becomes. So this is new for me the last 7 years or so. Mm-hmm.
Can you take us back to a time where you were maybe holding something heavy and you couldn't quite name it?
Yeah. That's a really interesting question because when I thought about it, it's like there's so many things. But the one big thing that comes up is when I had a miscarriage. It was our second miscarriage. And I remember telling the nurse practitioner or the midwife and the physician something was different about this pregnancy. I don't feel pregnant. I remember saying that. And they ignored me. They did not validate what I was experiencing. And I think I pressed and pressed till someone listened, and then they found out that the baby had died. And the date that they gave her when the baby died, I was like, that's the date that I called you and said, something's not right. And I had to keep carrying the baby until I could get a D&C. So then I delivered the baby before the D&C. So I delivered a dead baby. And I remember going through that experience with my husband in the emergency room. But then that's all that I remember. I don't remember anything after that. I don't remember the days, the weeks, the months, the years after that. And it wasn't until fast forward when I was sitting in the movie theater watching Toxic years later. I think my daughter was grown by then, right? And I'm sitting in this movie theater surrounded by hundreds of people watching the release of Toxic, a Black woman's story about infant mortality. And all of a sudden, these tears, these emotions. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I'm looking around, is anybody else feeling this? And then it came back to me that I had not dealt with that traumatic experience. I was holding that in and didn't even know that I was holding it in. Didn't even know it was an issue that needed to be resolved. What the heck is that about?
Because we're taught to tuck it away. And I don't mean to simplify the question, but what do you think when you're thinking back during that time? What were you doing? If you were holding it in, what were you doing to keep it wherever it was? Because it wasn't gone.
No, it wasn't gone. And here's the thing, Danielle. I don't ever remember trying to surface. I don't remember having a thought and then trying to ignore it or suppress it. But I do remember shopping a lot. I love to shop. Now, I'm a social person, so I love to shop anyway because I'm meeting the salesperson. I love it when my salesperson calls me, hey, Natalie, we got a new shipment. I'm like, girl, I'll be there, right?
Not the call.
The phone call,
That's
yes.
a level.
That's a level.
That's a level to have,
Yes,
ma'am.
girl, loved it. Like, let me go. I have an appointment, right? So I shopped a lot. I'm pretty certain I slept a lot with the covers over my head. But I don't ever remember it trying to surface and then I consciously suppressed it. That's what makes it so scary. Because I didn't. It just never came up. It's as if my mind was protecting me. Like it tucked it away so far that at that moment in that movie theater, it's like, you need to deal with this. You need to deal with this. Yeah.
And our minds do keep us safe. We are divinely designed.
I love it.
Not an inch of this is accidental. And the more we know, the more we learn, the more we lean into, the more we realize that when we're not ready, our brains will hold it tight like, no, we're going to just shut this down for a second. But holding it, because these things still are a part of our story. And so when we align ourselves, and that's what these conversations are about, being intentional, about aligning yourself so that your healing continues to happen.
And I think that's spot on because I don't know how I would have dealt with it years ago. I was in a different place spiritually and emotionally, maturity, I had grown. And so I think you're right. I wasn't ready back then. And I think, the Most High knows when it's time. Like, hey, this is about to happen.
Yes.
Right.
You're
Get
prepared.
ready.
I had a mentor who told me for every breakthrough moment that we have, it is a blessing to realize that God started it well ahead of us. So the makers of Toxic were born on a day intentionally for the day that you would be in the theater. And everything that happened along the way. And so we aren't accidentally here. Each one of us are a part of that. And the narrative is beautiful. Toxic is a project that we were all aligned with in a professional setting. And it was transformative on so many levels for medical professionals. That was the intended audience to do some things, and some great things are happening there.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, though, we were touched. And what we discovered is a lot of us are holding these stories that we don't even think they're stories, right? I talked to women who said things like, oh, yeah, I had a miscarriage, but I didn't know that was infant loss. Or I didn't know that was pregnancy loss. Or I didn't know that they were talking about me.
I know. I was in a role when Toxic was being made, and I was in the role to sign off on the budget for my hospital to participate. Never once did I associate it with me. I knew that the work was important, and I knew that there was a team member who was like, oh, she's perfect for it. Never once did I associate it with me. You know, knew what the storyline was. Like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good. It wasn't until I was sitting in that theater that it clicked.
And even then, was it grief? Did it come up for you as grief, or was it?
Well, I knew I couldn't stop crying. And I knew that I was confused. Like, where is this coming from? And then it came to me, dawned on me, I don't remember the days after. I don't remember journaling about it, because I've been journaling since when I was 12 years old, or actually younger than that. I don't ever remember wrestling with it. So it wasn't until that moment that it was tears that just would not stop falling. And I think I called you. I remember. I was like, what the heck is happening? And then that's when I think I began to process it, but not fully.
Yeah, and I just think about, as a nation, how much of that, like when I think about you in particular being a medical professional, being a coach, being a minister, and it still didn't come forward. Right. Like, think about somebody who doesn't have all of those wells to draw from, who may be experiencing but not connecting the dots between like what is actually happening, and you're just going through day by day.
Yes.
And whatever coping mechanism that you use to be able to manage it, and not know, not actually connect the dots to that.
And I'm always talking about connecting the dots.
But when it's yourself, that blind spot is for real. And the protection.
Right. It wasn't, to your point, it wasn't time. Yeah. I couldn't handle it. And you don't know what you don't know.
But once you know it, one thing about knowing,
you gotta be ready.
Won't turn you loose until you respond to what
that
you know.
That is so true. So I think the Most High knew when the time was right to bring this up to the surface, because it has now transformed me, right? Going through the grief process has really opened my heart to the newness of life and not being afraid to deal with the tough stuff.
Was there a particular tool or belief that you learned through your soul repair experience that still is fueling your healing today?
So I think the graph, the lost history graph, believe it or not, because I got to get it out of my head. Everything in your head is cluttered. And what your perspective it's not clear until you get it out of your head and, for me, onto paper. And so then looking at it, it's like, ooh, wow, right? But I survived all those things? Wait a minute. And then you look at it and you walk away from it, then you come back like, oh, wait, your mind is starting to remember other things. So that lost history graph really was instrumental for me, and I use it to this day. So if there's something that comes up, and I know I'm stewing over it, like, I need to get this out. And then I go through the acknowledgement, the forgiveness, the statements, all of those things. It helps me to get clear, because in my head I'm cluttered, and when I'm cluttered, I'm confused. And that emotion stays within me, and it creates this dis-ease. But writing it out, and I think it goes to the part of journaling, writing it out always gives me a way of release. So that's probably the hardest part when I'm working with a client. That lost history graph can be intimidating, but having done it myself, like, okay, this is what to expect. Just get it out. And sometimes I'll have a client where they haven't done the assignment. It's true. And because they don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, sis. I'm not going to let you get away with that. We're going to reschedule for next week. And this is what we're going to go through because I know the richness in getting it out on that paper and looking at it gives me a different perspective. So surprising, I didn't want to do it. I was like, why do I have to do this? But then when I did it, I was like, I see why I had to do this because it makes total sense.
We don't promise easy, we promise worth it.
I like that. It is worth it. Absolutely.
What surprised you about your healing? Something you didn't expect to matter but did.
What surprised me the most was how much I needed it.
That you needed to be healed.
Right? Because I prided myself as a woman of faith.
Come on now.
Right? I prayed, I journaled, I read my scriptures. I went through the whole forgiveness process for myself. I confessed my sins, repented, rinse and repeat, interceded and prayed for other people, did Bible study, started a ministry. I did all these things, right? Thinking like, yes, I got it. Wrote a book, right? Since the book was before the healing. And didn't know, like I said, what I didn't know. Like, oh my goodness, I am so broken. So in need of holistic healing. And I'm going through life with all of these accomplishments and achievements and doing all these things. But baby, I needed to be healed and didn't even know it. So I didn't know how much I needed it. And what was missing. Right? I didn't know that was missing. And now it has become a rhythm for me. It's a part of, my journaling. It's a part of my life. Like, wait, let me look at this. Wait a second. Let me address this. Don't go sturbing. That's my word. Because I recognize it. I recognize those sturbs. I'm like, oh, Natalie, you're doing a puzzle. Girl, you sturbing. That's a short-term energy relieving behavior. Yes. So for me, a long time ago, it was the shopping. Now I recognize it. It was the sleeping. Like, oh yeah, I'm avoiding. I am running away. And I used to love to take a nap because I was like, oh, I'm going to take a nap. And like life will be different when I wake up. But it's still there when I wake up. Like, okay.
I mean,
but it
I can see where you were headed.
Right.
It was something. You had to do
my
logic.
Yeah, it's temporary.
It's temporary, right? And that's the problem with these. They work temporarily. But for me now, it's doing puzzles. I like jigsaw puzzles and like physically touching them, physically going to a space, blocking out everything and doing my puzzle. But I'm also processing. I'm also praying and thinking versus just avoiding or, stewing on what I didn't like was happening or what I could have said differently or what he or she did, right? So now I'm like, okay, Natalie, why are you feeling this way? So I'm actually leaning in. So I'm more intentional about addressing what I'm feeling versus going to get a Pop-Tart. Strawberry frosted Pop-Tart. Pop it in the microwave, make sure it's warm Pop-Tart, right? So yeah, it's a way for me to avoid, but also to get centered. So that when I am ready to address whatever I need to address, I'm in a different space.
It sounds like you have extended an invitation to yourself to join your life fully.
I like that.
Because we make up this story in our head, and we're taught to do it when we're very little. What do you want to be when you grow up? How many, like we said, and we fantasize. Remember that game? Does anybody remember that game? Like how many times you could go up your wrist was how many kids you would have. There were so many games that we would play where the number that you got up to was, I don't know why it was always kids. Anyway, it could have been men. How come it wasn't men's or something else? Not to say that I needed a lot. I'm just saying.
Why kids?
Or dollar bills. Come on.
Oh, that would have been good.
Something. But we were taught to imagine our lives, so much so that when there was this idea that our lives had, number one, not yet begun. So we missed that. We kept waiting. We keep waiting for our life to begin. And then we look up and we haven't invited any of the hard to feel parts of life to come along the journey.
And that's so true. I think we have a Hollywood version of our lives. Like it's always supposed to be a happily ever after. Or in the Hollywood movies, the climax only lasts a few minutes, and then now we're on to, okay, now he's thinking about her and she's thinking about him, and then we go on to the next thing and they're back together. That's not life.
And it wasn't ever our life, now.
It was right.
That was their life.
Exactly.
They didn't put me up there. I was looking hard too.
Exactly. And so if I have this Hollywood version of life, that's so unrealistic, and then I'm disappointed, and I think then something's wrong with my life, right? And so you're right. I have invited in those tough emotions, and I never looked at it as an invitation, Danielle, but that's what it is. Because before I would run away from it, but now I'm leaning into it, and what I've learned is that guess what? I can do hard things
You can
and not die.
Right.
You always think the worst is going to happen. It's like, no. And I have this picture up in my closet that says, oh my goodness, what if I fail? And then it says, oh my darling, what if you fly? Like I never think about flying. I always think about the failing part. But what if you actually fly? And so for giggle's sake, let's do it. Game on, baby.
The odds are the same in both questions.
Exactly. Right. Well,
They're the same in both. It's like, where do we? So, extending this invitation, and the reason why I phrase it that way is because we do have to be intentional about creating a space where healing can abide. It isn't just a matter of, okay, what Band-Aids do I need to rip off and go running into it?
Yeah.
As a coach, I would imagine you don't recommend that for clients. And as a clinician, I don't either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so we do have to, in the same way you host us here. I mean, you make us look real good. If anyone is impressed, thank Natalie. Everybody say, thank you, Natalie.
Hallelujah.
But when you prepare a space for what you expect or what you know, then things can happen there. Right? Because maybe there was a part of you that wasn't ready for that part of your grief journey, but this was all a part of it.
Yes.
This studio, every connection that you made, I met you because of it, right? And so when we create a space, what that looks like in the practical sense, and maybe you can help us a little bit with that, is doing things like getting a coach to help you with some hard things, going to therapy, educating yourself, getting into a faith community. What would that look like? Just imagine with me for a moment. I know you got a great imagination. If we were to imagine together creating an invitation or creating a space where we invite our hard emotions, what types of things do you think we would need in place there?
We definitely need a place where we can be silent, because it's the noise that clutters our minds, clutters our hearts, and we can't really get centered and hear what the Most High is trying to say to us, right? And that space also means just being raw. Not pretending like you know everything. Not pretending like everything is good. Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored and all this stuff is good. Like, no, it's not. Be okay with that, right? And just be real and allow your emotions to flow versus always holding them in. And I write something in the book, Stormy Weather, about a time when I allowed myself to cry in front of someone, right? And it was a time when my other best friend Marcy was visiting, and we were sitting there laughing and talking, and it was time for her to go, and I couldn't get up. I was having these issues, just this exhaustion, pain, whatever. And I think that was all part of the grief. And that I didn't know that I was holding it, right? And the tears started falling. And Marcy, I think she was like, oh. And she started crying with me. And then we started laughing. It was like, what is happening? Like, what are we doing? Right? And so the crying then ended up in laughter. But I had never allowed myself to cry with people before because, why? I got to hold it together. I got to have it together. And that moment that taught me, no, you don't. So creating that space where you're allowing the feelings to flow. That is so important. So it's that safe space where whatever I share is without judgment. I don't have to hold back. And that is going to be so liberating, right? And you can create that space by yourself. You don't always have to have another person. Because the truth is, especially for me and my faith, is that the Most High is with me, so I'm never really alone, right? And He's the one that can take everything that I'm feeling and then help me to use it in a way that will then become my strength instead of a thorn. Do you know what I'm saying? So that space is so important. And that's every coach needs a coach. Like every preacher needs a preacher, every doctor needs a doctor, every lawyer needs a lawyer, right? Because I can help you guys, but I can't always help myself. I need you to be the mirror back to me. I need you to feed into me. And one thing in coaching that we learned is that everybody is your student and everybody is your teacher, right? So I learn from people every day, but that space I create every morning for myself, I call it owning my morning, where I get quiet, go into the presence of the Most High, and I literally release all what's ever in me onto paper. So it's really important to journal. Some people auto journal or they get a recorder. I love that too. But there's something about pen to paper and the brain connection. And I love that because now I'm pouring out what's inside of me. And then when I read it, I'm like, that don't make sense at all, girl. Get over yourself. Or I read it and I'm like, oh, that's why you responded the way you did. Oh, that's why you're still mad at him, right? But I can't figure that out in my head. And when we don't create that space for ourselves, we get all jacked up. And then I blame you. And it don't have anything to do with you. It's on me.
Brother, we talking.
I know that. Let me
Listen.
Well, we were talking about normalizing grief, but also what I heard you talking about was just normalizing vulnerability. And that's something in society that we just, like that's a taboo for us to do, especially for Black people, like for folks who are used to not being able to show how you really feeling from a protective standpoint and having to mask all the time to fit in or for whatever reason. But everybody knows when people are vulnerable how much it shifts the atmosphere of the whole space, because now I see you as a human being.
Yeah.
I can see myself in you, which is going to give me permission to say a little bit more than maybe I would not have said at first. But how do we as a society get to this higher level in ourselves and a higher level in just the evolution of community if everybody's professional? Everybody's on guard, everybody's, I can't talk about that. Okay, well, what are we talking about?
Or we talk about it in plainly without it actually owning, like belonging to us. So we say things like, I do self-care and I have a therapist, and we list the things, right? We about to jump again, but we're not really making a connection. And so vulnerability can be risky for some populations. I wish that I could say something different, but I can't. It has to be an intentional space that you can, like all of us need a space for vulnerability. It is unhealthy, clinically so, when we are vulnerable all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. That part.
We can't bring a vulnerable in. They all over the place. And so really trying to be intentional in trying to find those spaces in learning what space feels safe for you. Like, I can't tell you what feels safe, but I can listen if you are trying to explain to me how you're experiencing a space.
So what do you find yourself saying to others that you once needed someone to say to you?
That it's okay.
Yeah.
it's okay that you're feeling this way. It's okay that this is where you are. It's a natural human response. And when I find myself saying to my clients and to myself, it's like, oh, welcome to the human club, right?
Okay.
It's okay to feel this way. You are human. Pinch yourself if you didn't know it. You are.
That's a lie.
Yeah, but it's so true. And that while it's okay, acknowledge what you're feeling. Be aware of those emotions, but don't stay stuck in it. Because that's the issue. We get stuck. And we don't see how to move beyond that. We don't see anything beyond that. And now we're swirling downward into a pit that we have no idea how to recover from. And so that's the one thing that I really focus on when I'm coaching. How do you get unstuck? Right? Because unbeknownst to me, I was stuck when I didn't deal with that miscarriage. And then what happened after that, my husband and I divorced because we both probably weren't dealing with it and couldn't see past that moment. And so unresolved grief is why we get stuck. Whether it's from things that should have never happened or things that should have happened that didn't happen, whatever it is, those unresolved issues, they get us stuck in a place where we can't see beyond. So telling someone that it's okay is the first step to getting unstuck. And that you're human. And that it's a natural response to what has happened to you. Of course you should feel this way. I would be surprised if you didn't feel this way. But now what? What's next? Because this isn't the end of your story. See, we put a period and close the door, and the Most High is like, no, boo. That's not how it's supposed to work, right? Keep it moving, but don't bury it. Don't suppress it. Don't avoid it. Don't ignore it. Address it.
It reminded me of the myth that we talk about in grief recovery method around being strong. Like we hold this internal dialogue that I have to be strong, so which is the opposite of it's okay. Because in your mind you're like, it's not okay. I gotta be strong.
Right.
But those are not, opposites. But we see them as opposites.
Right. And I think for me, being able to say it's okay, Natalie, is my strength showing up. Yeah, because before I would have been running the other way. Like, I did my trial sermon on the waiting room, but before the waiting room, I was going to talk about Jonah, how Jonah always runs. Because that's the way I dealt with everything. Oh, I'm going to just run the opposite way. And running can look like a whole lot of things, not me like physically running, right? But that's what we do with those emotions we don't want to deal with. And so me showing up to say, hey, it's okay, Natalie. You can press through this. You can deal with this, and you won't die. And again, you won't eat a Pop-Tart. Right? It needs to be a title of a book. It needs to be a title of a book.
You don't need a Pop-Tart.
You don't need a Pop-Tart today.
Pop-Tart.
But something that you've taught me too is that when you are in that space of telling yourself it's okay, your brain can then shift to the how of what to figure, what do I need to do? As opposed to me just ruminating on how I feel. Like I'm upset and all the reasons why. And I can't stop talking about why this happened and trying to figure out what made this happen. It's like, okay, now how do I move from here? How do I get to the next step?
Yes, and I remember when I had my that event. I don't necessarily like labeling it as a STROKE. I don't like taking ownership of it. It doesn't have me. But what got me through that was me telling myself, I am healthy. I walk straight. I am healed. I am whole, right? I had to keep telling myself, because if I said, oh, it's over, then ended the conversation, the subconscious mind is like, okay, it's over.
Mhm.
Whatever you say, boo, that's what we gonna
Right.
You
do.
a stroke nurse, you know.
Right,
You're gonna have
exactly.
to walk this way for the
Right.
rest of your life.
And I was like, oh no, that's not my story.
Did
So
y'all
like,
just reenact the walk? We
we
did.
did.
I saw out the corner of my eye.
Because that's literally what happened. But to your point, I stayed open to healing versus declaring that this was the end and this was what I was going to be bound to. And so many times we do that. Oh, I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're stuck. And you're going to stay right there versus, okay, this happened. This is where I am. How do I keep moving? Now the brain is like, ooh, it's a challenge. The brain is then going to start finding ways for you to keep moving. It's so important to do mind hacks. And now that I understand the beauty of my mind and the power of my subconscious mind, I'm literally, here's the word, unstoppable.
Come on.
That's why I love that song.
Unstoppable. Natalie, before we go, could you please tell the folks what you're working on, what you have coming up, and how can they find you?
Oh, I love that. So I am working on what I call the 5th Decade Mastery Academy. And it's all about helping women, busy women, get unstuck and thrive in their 50s and beyond. And I started it just little by doing master classes. You've been to them in-person master classes on topics that mean the most in becoming unstoppable. Getting unstuck and becoming unstoppable. So we did one on prayer, then we did one on reclaiming our divine perfect health, right? Because our bodies are our temples and many of us are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we think that as we go up in our 5th decade, 6th decade, the body is supposed to break down. I don't know who told you that lie, it's not true, right? Get rid of that. And now next we're doing on relationships, because the relationships is the secret sauce to bringing joy and happiness in our lives, and sometimes they don't bring joy and happiness. So how do we master those relationships? And so that 5th Decade Mastery Academy is about helping women crush their goals, right? I love goals. I'm a goal geeky person, but I want to make it fun. It doesn't have to be the, what do you say, smart goals that we do at work. It's not that. So I like to make it fun, play games, give prizes, and just celebrate women, because we are made for more. We are divinely created, like you said, and there is a purpose for our lives, but many times we get stuck and we don't live out that purpose. And our Creator, Yahuwah, my Father, created us divinely, perfectly made, birthed us on a certain day, in a certain year, to fulfill a specific purpose. And my job, my mission, is to help women find that purpose and walk in it. So that's what I'm working on.
How can they find you?
Oh, find me on Coach Natalie Rudd on YouTube, and then CoachNatalieRudd.com on my website. But YouTube is where I hang out.
I love it.
I love it.
Thank you so much
I love
for
you guys.
hanging with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Soul Repair 360 Conversations.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us grow and reach more people who need this work.
We're the soul sisters you don't want to have to talk to.
But you're always glad you did.
Healing hearts, we want more conversations. That's the call.
You won't eat a Pop-Tart. Right? It needs to be a title of a book.